From the very beginning of the Bloody Ties DLC, you hear a new voice unheard in the main story reach out to you through your radio, trying to convince you to infiltrate the Carnage Hall tournament and stop them, as they plan to release a chemical into Villador, which is a plot point that's never really brought up again, but the main takeaway is this mysterious stranger who will rarely, around 3 to 4 times, communicate with Aiden as he progresses up the tournament. But by the end of the story, we never really learn who this character is, unless you listen to this specific audio tape called Confessions of the Truth, which actually is bugged out and doesn't really work at all. But fortunately, the audio files were data mined by Colty and Bub, so we can actually hear what's on this tape. The only thing you really need to know going into it is that, spoiler alert of course, Skullface is Abel, Chiro's brother and Ogar's thought to be lost dead son. There's really no reason for me to comment any further, as the audio files explain about everything. So thanks for watching folks, and let's listen to the truth.
Pilgrim, this is the last you'll hear from me. And it means I'm dead. You did it. You stopped him. Stop me. I reckon I owe you an explanation. Don't want you thinking I took advantage of you. I want to believe there was ultimately a shred of good left in me. A shred of the boy who once dreamt of becoming champ and doing everything to achieve that dream. Careful what you wish for, they say. 'Cause wishes tend to come true. I learned that fact the hard way. I was so hell-bent on reaching the top that I kept taking stronger and stronger stimulants to achieve my goal. Fighting became an obsession of mine. I stopped being myself when I stepped out into the arena. I turned into Skullface, the brutal and fearless slayer adored by the crowds. Over time, it became harder and harder to find my old self again. My body was eventually consumed by the ruthless Skullface. His lust for blood kept growing. Contaminating fighters with anabolics wasn't enough. The ordinary residents of Villador would have had to be contaminated too. Women and children. My conscience was terrified, but it wasn't strong enough to take back control of my body. Yet I couldn't allow this to go ahead. Fortunately for me, a pilgrim soon appeared in the city. Well, you know the rest of the story. Thank you again for what you did. I want to believe you did save me in the end, and save those who would have fallen victim to my ambitions. Tell my father it wasn't his fault, and that I'm grateful for everything he did. As for Chiro, tell him his big brother's awfully proud of him. That was always important for him. Farewell, Pilgrim.